Hello, it's hour number 5 of our 24-hour telethon, the Service Heroes Telethon benefiting Chemo Buddies for Life. My name is Tamara Hunter. I am the executive director and co-founder of that nonprofit, also the host of 365 Days of Awesome Celebrate Success Through Service. And I have with me my co-host.
Hi, Kelly Clarkson, and I am Tamara's volunteer for Chemo Buddies for Life and a service hero, Miss Cosmic, and I'm doing some short films.
And then we have our guest that I'm so excited. She's one of my mentors and one of my coaches. This is Alison Larson. She's beautiful inside and out. Thank you for joining us for this amazing first telethon. And everybody need to understand the reason that we actually are having this event on this day is actually courtesy of Alison.
Oh, that's so sweet.
We were in Park City, and Alison's like, okay, Tamara, come here. Bring your calendar. We're going to talk. Right?
That's true. That's exactly what happened. It's so fun to see it manifest. And Tamara, of course, you are a lady of action, and I just feel so blessed to have you in my life. And I know that everybody that has you in their life feels the same.
Oh, well, thank you. It's a mutual admiration society then, because I feel the same way. I have to say that I do about all the people that you and helping us to start this, and it's evolved. It truly has. It started as one thing. It didn't quite work out, but we were not going to give up. You gave us a challenge, and by then Kelly was like, you know what, she all in. Okay, let's do this. And she kept trying to find a way to make the party work. And I mean, she did not give up. I have to give this woman, you talk about someone that's got fortitude, this one, she even found the last minute house that we almost were able to do it, and it was being sold. And yet she's like, you don't want to move that yet? No, we want to have a fundraiser there. It had them convinced, but it just didn't work out because it was just not meant to be. And so then when we looked at doing this and we started thinking, you know what, this could be an annual thing, and we're here in Vegas, we can bring back the telethon in Vegas, but give it a new age style.
Right, exactly.
What a great idea. And I have one really important question for both of you. How do you look so good after being up all night, 5 a.m. in the morning, 4 a.m., whatever time it is?
Well, we've tried on some different hair pieces.
We've been having fun.
We've been wearing some different ones, changing the looks a little.
And a lot of laughter. I think, you know,
a lot of laughter.
When you laugh and
it's like a permit grin.
You know, and we just truthfully, we've been having a lot of fun. And I can't really turn it around right now to show you, but the if I could, you would be like, oh wow, what's going on over there? But like this set was all put together by the amazing amount of people that showed up. We put the call out, you know, show up at 5 o'clock. We are going to have a decorate party.
I know, and I heard. I didn't think I was working. I was like, oh, you're working.
So we you know, and we needed a steamer. So all of a sudden someone comes with a steamer, and then people, we had a few of them that stayed even after the others left, just to make sure that the steaming was done even on the ground. So.
Well, Tamara, I'd like to talk about you for a minute. I know you have been working so hard and focusing on other people, but I'm just so proud of you. And I was just telling someone yesterday about how I was going to be on this morning. And I remember when I first met you, you had this vision and this idea, and it was just growing, and it's grown and grown. And you are so amazing. And I actually, you know, I have the TV show, the radio show, so I love to interview people. And I know you're interviewing me, but I just want to ask you a question. What's your secret? What is the thing that you do that keeps you going, that motivates you when you have those tough times? Like you were saying, you know, things don't work out, houses are being sold, and you're there laughing and smiling and showing up to serve other people. What's your secret? I want to know.
You know, my secret is that we were talking about the why behind the why in what I'm doing with Chemo Buddies, and I believe my secret is that I have seen people that have felt so desperately alone, and to a point where I know that even some that I have seen, not anybody in my family, but some that I have seen, they've actually given up their fight to live. And you never know if possibly they had just fought a little longer, if they had just believed a little stronger, if they had had a friend to be there for them, that they may still be with us. And I actually now, because of some of the things that I get to hear and be a part of, I know that there's some stuff coming around the corner that some people are going to have an opportunity to even live longer, and maybe even in that length of life have a better life and be able to live and enjoy their families. And I so believe in families. I so believe in you know, when I look at my kids and I look at my grandchildren, I just think, wow, I'm lucky to be here with them. And then I think of those people that didn't have that buddy, that maybe just gave up on a little bit of time, and they may not have wanted to necessarily give up, but because they did, they then basically couldn't turn it around. And so I think about them every single day, and it just lets me know that, you know what, I feel very called to do it. I don't know how to say it other than that. And it's like, okay, if this is what I'm supposed to do, and no matter what, you know, I was saved and I'm grateful for it. And I just feel like I just feel very inspired to do it. And then I get to meet people like you guys. And then, you know, it makes it all worth it. It's like, why wouldn't I want to be doing this? Because now I love the fact that I want to bring her on, that I'm able to go out there and also share all of this with these amazing people that have such unbelievable souls, like our senior ambassador, Sharon. Sharon is absolutely one of the nicest people, and everybody loves her because she's so lovable. And she you know, she can relate to the story, because this woman, she is a shut-in. She's a stage 4 shut-in, and yet she's not a shut-in. She actually travels everywhere I go with her because of the fact I stream, right? I'm always streaming.
Yeah.
And so that's what gets me, is because then when I hear things like when I shared when we were in LA, and I shared it there, and because she had just shared it with me, that when her doctor came in, and Sharon, I share this all the time, but you've given me permission to, that when her doctor came in and asked, and she's saying yes, okay, asked her, why are you still alive? Not to say it in a sarcastic way, but to really understand, why is she still alive? And when she was able to say that she is a senior ambassador, get this, she's the senior ambassador. She loves that. A senior ambassador for Chemo Buddies for Life and a service hero. She has a reason to live. And she feels like she's blessing the lives of others.
Oh, that's amazing.
Okay, and you know, she is. And so that's what keeps me going.
I love that. And I heard this emotional equation, and maybe Sharon can relate to this too, but this really resonated with me. Suffering minus meaning equals despair. Suffering plus meaning equals purpose. And I think that what you're doing is you're helping give people meaning. And by having a buddy, you have a purpose. You get to show up. And I love that you're doing that.
Well, thank you, and love going with you. And he was so excited for you. You know, this is what it's all about right here. You know, just being able to share this, and you know, Sharon and I many times are comparing notes, because a lot of times, you know, we're up in the middle of the night and we'll be like, okay, so have you been to sleep yet, or have you, or you know, what is it? And then I have so many mothers too. Let me just tell you, even though they may be my age or younger, but they're always like, okay, so are you getting any sleep? Are you doing any of this? You know, and that also just lets me know that there's, I'm saying bye to some of the volunteers. See you. We're gonna have people coming in, going all day long here. That when I can hear from them, and then they are like mothering me, and then like they're a part of what's going on. It's like we're a co-op in a way, you know, of life, and it's a buddy system. And I want to share one other story in regards to it all. And a chemo buddy for life. Yes, that she is a chemo buddy for life. We are chemo buddies for life, and we're about life. And Sharon, I was on my way here to Vegas to get ready for this, and it was horrible traffic, just horrible. It took me 8 hours in what usually is a 3.5 hour drive. It was pretty crazy. And so I hear from someone and realize we have one of our chemo buddies missing, you know, because we are a community, and we're really, you know, even though right now we're challenged, we don't have everything in place that we need, but we've really gotten to know each other, and we check on each other, and we had one missing. And with it, and I started hearing from, because they end up sharing, okay, yeah, we're chemo buddies, and this is who our chemo buddies are. And so I started hearing from people I didn't even know, asking about the missing chemo buddy. And then our chemo buddy actually then kind of like, okay, you know, I'm okay. I am in ICU right now, but you know, I'll be okay. And so then you start hearing from these other ones saying, yeah, she's strong, this and that, you know, and it's a matter of, okay, we got this. We're going to get through this. And okay, yeah, and we're comparing notes. How many times you been in ICU? Oh, I've been there a few times, you know. It's like, okay, because we can talk each other's language. And when you have people in common, it's like what you said, we have a purpose.
Well, I love that. And you know what else I love is you said it's all about life, and the life that you're living now for however long that gets to be. And one of the things that impresses me so much about you, Tamara, I remember it struck me, we were recently in Park City at a retreat together, and it was freezing cold, and we were in the hot tub. It was so fun.
Yeah.
As we were in the hot tub, I've had the privilege of traveling with you and doing certain things with you, and I just think, man, Tamara always says yes. When she can, she says yes, and she's there, and she's experiencing every experience. And I never hear you say, oh, I'm too tired, or I'm too this, or I'm too that. It's just that if you choose to show up, you are there and you are living. And I think we even had this discussion. I asked you, I said, Tamara, why is that? And you shared something pretty profound with me. Do you remember what you said?
Exactly what I said. I probably don't. I know, you know, the one thing about it that all of us, Sharon, I'm sure would be able to totally relate, is that when you have nearly faced death, you know what life is all about, and so you want to live every single minute of it, and you don't want to give up. And so I know that that's what keeps me going. But what did I say?
You said something almost exactly like that. You said, I think, you know, pretty much to just along those same lines, when you have stared death in the face and you've been given a chance to live, you're going to take every second and live the best that you can and the fullest you can. And you are such an example of that. It just amazed me. And when it comes down to it, what is it that really matters and what's really important in life, right?
Right. Absolutely. And number one, it's to not take it for granted, I think. And you know, I think that a lot of people take life for granted until they have a reason that they don't want to anymore. And then that's where sometimes that regret comes in. And you see a lot of, I'm a movieaholic. I love movies. And you see the movies where they're always talking about, and it's this time of the year, and I always think of It's a Wonderful Life, and there's a line in there that one of the grumpy old guys says, life is wasted on the youth. And it's like, because you get it when you're older, you get it when you've been through something that's life-threatening, or you get it when you have something that's so profound in you that all of a sudden that new pair of shoes that you thought were so important, or having the newest color on the wall at your house or something. And I can say there's, in total disclosure, there's been times in my life that, I have those things and I'm putting the colors on the wall and I'm thinking, okay, now it's time to change them again. Like it's time to change the seasons. And now you look at things a little differently and see. And I don't have all the answers. I mean, we can all say, yes, I'm doing this, or yes, this person's doing that. However, we could be doing this, the could have, would have, should have. And that's where sometimes, like, my mind will sometimes go there, and then I try to shift it around and say, wait a minute, that's the old Tamara talking. Be grateful for today and make it. Bill Heinrich, I don't know if you know Bill Heinrich, but he's someone that I've now had the amazing gift of getting to know. And what he says is things are perfect. You're putting that energy out there and just be okay with it, and it will be perfect. If you have your energy going in place, be okay with it. And I have to say that it's been quite opening and amazing. Even with this event, we still have hiccups. I don't have an 800 number working that I have, and I thought I had it ready, and it's ready to take messages at least. But I had the best of intentions to have that. But then I have to think, why is it that I don't? Maybe we weren't supposed to.
Yeah. Well, it's really interesting. I've always heard, anxiety is worrying about the future and depression is worrying about the past. And that really is the goal, is to live in the present moment. So I love that you said that. So, okay, I have a question for you, though. And okay. I want to focus more on this energy piece, because I know you asked me to talk a little bit about intention. But before we do that, since you're such a movie connoisseur, what's been your favorite movie so far this year, Tamara?
I have to be honest with you. I haven't been watching movies because I have been too busy this year with which is really, okay, total disclosure. I still have my Christmas tree up from last year because I have been working so much on Chemo Buddies for Life this whole year, which is mortifying for me in many ways. I have never done that. But now it's very wonderful because my Christmas tree is already up. It's like, okay, there's a good side to everything. But I will say, to answer your question, I can't say movies because I haven't seen any new movies this year. But Netflix, because it can be on my computer, and when I'm traveling, I can turn it on. Designated Survivor. I like that one.
Oh, okay. Well, good. I'd love to hear that. Okay, so you asked me to talk a little bit about intention, and you were talking about energy, and that's something that I really have used in my life and taught a lot of people about. And so intention, I mean, some people call them goals, some people call them aspirations, whatever it is, it's something that you decide you want to do or create in your life, and that's your intention. I've always said that intention fuels intuition, right? So intention fuels intuition, meaning that if you have an intention, a goal, somewhere that something you want to accomplish or achieve, then when you come to certain crossroads in your life or have to make some decisions, your conscious and subconscious mind works towards getting you there. So, how does intention work? And this is interesting too, Cameron. You talked about not worrying about the consequences. So how do you set an intention or a goal and not worrying about it, right? Well,
Right.
I mean, and that's like the challenge that I think all of us have. But when it comes to intention, it's just very simply can be as easy as waking up in the morning and thinking about what is my intention for the day. What do I want to accomplish today? And it could be I want to smile at 5 people. I want to text somebody. I want to make $2,000. Whatever it is, you are setting that intention for the day. You're getting that goal. And you can do more long-term ones. I love just the daily ones. Some of the ones that I set for today was to spend individual quality time with each of my kids before I go out of town today. Another intention that I set for the day is to come on and support you on the show and show up in the best way that I can. And intention is really important when you're setting an intention that it's not dependent on another person. So I can't say, oh, my intention is to make Tamara really happy today. I mean, I know you're always happy, but I can't make you happy. I need to show up the best way that I can. I can't say, well, my intention today is to, make all of my kids, happy. But I can show up and smile and be the best mom that I am for them. So something that I love to do when we talk about energy and living in the present moment is just to wake up each morning and set 3 intentions for the day. And then before I go to bed at night, I just review and kind of circle back and say, did I meet these intentions? And if I don't beat myself up. I don't roll them over to the next day and say, what did I do yesterday? I just, in humbleness and gratitude, thank myself for what I could accomplish today and start over new today. And so that's what I wanted to say about our intention. There's a couple of the long-term things to do it. Do you have any thoughts about the short-term intention and how to
Well,
create those?
yeah, of course I do, because I right now am doing a fundraiser for Chemo Buddies for Life. So my short-term intention is to have it be successful. And what does successful mean to me? It means that we were talking earlier, Kelly and I, and that is that those people that would want to donate will donate, and that they will then they will have a giving experience that they will give back. They will get back. I can't do that for them, but my intention is that they will want to, that they will see that we have a program that is truly helping. And so my intention is that this program, this 24 hours, will be full of humor, hope, and heart.
And you're doing a great job so far. I've laughed.
Well, thank you.
Loved. And I think that you're giving a lot of hope to people. So that's awesome, Tamara. I love that. And there's some longer term visions too. One of the things that I know that I've done and you've asked me to talk about too is kind of the ideal life vision. And we're talking about Chemo Buddies for Life. We're talking about living. And one of the things that a lot of people do is they just kind of go day to day and they say, well, whatever happens, happens. And they feel out of control of their life in a lot of ways. Oh, this bad thing happened to me, or, I got stuck in traffic today, or I got this, or I got that. And they kind of get stuck in this victim mentality of a mentality of things that are happening to them. And one of the things that I've done that was so amazing, and I know that you've done something similar too, was somebody told me one time, they said, okay, take 7 categories in your life, and I can tell you what those 7 categories are if you want. But they're things like family, community, spirituality, career, education, and write those things down on a piece of paper and leave half a sheet of paper in between each one. So it takes several sheets of paper to do these 7 things, and go through and write present tense what you want to have happen in your life. So, like with family, I would write, I am a loving mother who spends quality time with my kids each day. I am a great sister who reaches out to my siblings every week and has some kind of interaction or discussion with them. And then you go on to the next one, spirituality. I connect with God daily through 5 minutes of meditation, at least 5 minutes of meditation. I go to church weekly, whatever that is, you write that down. Career, maybe I feel secure and successful in my life, and I'm helping other people and raising the frequency of the planet. And you go through and you take these different categories, and there's kind of this whole system behind it. But by the time you're done, you basically have this series of affirmations of things that you want to accomplish in your life, of things that you want to be. And then you take that and you record it and listen to it every day, listen to yourself reading that. And something that's done for me is it really has helped me to keep in mind who I want to be, instead of feeling like I'm reacting to situations all the time. Instead of feeling like things are happening to me, I feel like I'm in control of my life and I'm in charge of what's going on. And just really simply to get started, it may be just to write down in present tense who you want to be and what you want your life to look like. And maybe just even reading that every day, and then eventually recording it and listening to yourself say it. But I've had miracle after miracle happen from doing this. I remember when I was very first getting started in the industry that I'm in now with TV and radio, and I remember writing on there that I would reach 1 million+ people every month. And at the time, Tamara, I was like maybe had a reach of 2,000 people. And I thought, I have no idea how this is going to come to pass. I remember writing my financial goals on there, writing my relationship goals on there. And I remember waking up about 4 months later to one morning to the realization that everything that I had written had come to pass. It was so amazing. So I really was thankful for that tool. And I know you wanted me to share some things, and I wanted to share that today.
Yes, and thank you for, I had to say, Jay Johnson, thank you, Jay. Every dollar you donate makes it possible for folks faced with the diagnosis of cancer to have a support buddy, a chemo buddy to connect with during the challenging journey. Donate now. PayPal me, Chemo Buddies for Life. Everything helps. Thank you, Jay. Jay's just amazing. He's been helpful. We had a lot of fun in the last segment, and I'm going to take a moment here, and then I'm going to come back to what you were just saying, Allison. I'm going to write down here. I'm having a problem with this thing. Let's see here.
Well, and what you're writing, I want to say, what a better Christmas gift or donation to give than to Chemo Buddies for Life. I mean, literally saving someone's life. I remember a couple of years ago, I sat down with the kids and we said, hey, this year, instead of big presents, you guys have everything you need and definitely a lot of what you want. We're going to pick something to donate to this year. And we actually picked a charity and donated to that charity that year. And it was such a wonderful feeling to know that we were making a difference in somebody's life in a way that I mean, they truly need it. And Chemo Buddies for Life, what a better Christmas gift to give, what a better donation to give that actually gives someone the hope and the love and the humor that they need, the hope, the heart, and humor that they need this holiday season.
Absolutely. In fact, well, thanks to the volunteers, we have this beautiful reminder that it's Giving Tuesday and it's the holiday season, and I just cannot thank the volunteers enough for it. And yes, the holiday seasons can be difficult to some people, even when they're healthy, and to go through. I'm thinking if I had the song with me. I went through chemotherapy, active chemotherapy during the holiday season. I started my first round of chemotherapy on December the 10th, 2014. So I actually lost my hair right before Christmas, which I didn't have a hard time with that. The hardest thing I had was that I was put in isolation and I did not get to see my grandkids through Christmas. And I did not have an app or a phone that did the FaceTime talk. Plus, I didn't have a voice. So that was the hardest thing for me. And when you are missing people and you feel isolated and alone, and even in the best of situations, when you're healthy, sometimes you have that happen in the holidays. But for those people that are facing cancer or some kind of a life-changing health event, it can be enough to make you give up. And that's the thing that I don't want to have happen on my watch. Chemo Buddies for Life is a program that allows people to feel connected. And that healing through connection and a buddies network can actually create miracles, and we are doing it. You know, with the fact that Sharon was sharing, you know, and I didn't share the last one. It was, you're right, Dara. Yeah, she is, she's alive because she has a reason to be. She is a senior ambassador for Chemo Buddies for Life, and she's a service hero, and she mothers us all. She makes sure that we are where we need to be, and if we're not, where are we? You know, and someone's missing, she's going to, by golly, she's going to let us know, toot the horn, and we're going to find that person and make sure that that person's okay because they are important. And the person that was missing, the thing I want people to understand is that each one of our buddies that we are connecting with, we get to know. And in this case, this one, family is intact, has a very solid career path, and yet her immediate circle of friends somehow didn't understand that, because it's a cultural thing, that cancer cannot be caught. So she was isolated and she was ostracized by her friendship, her friends, her circle. And that's not uncommon. Unfortunately, that's
Still
actually
uncomfortable too. You know, sometimes people don't know what to do, and they don't.
That happens a lot. Yes.
And unfortunately, you know, that the person who's suffering the most suffers more because the people around them don't understand, you know, how to react or are uncomfortable with the situation, and so they become distant. And
right.
What a hard thing around, especially
Right.
holidays. Here's what I love what you're doing, Tamara, and this thought came to me when you were just talking about this. Chemo Buddies for Life is not only giving people the opportunity to have support, but it's giving people the opportunity to support other people as well. And part of that is about purpose. I mean, we all need friends. We all need that sense of community. That's such an important part of life, but we also need to feel like we're needed and like people need us. And wow, like I'm hearing you talk about Sharon, and she is doing amazing things. Her purpose is so strong right now and so wonderful. And wow, what a great, I just had the aha moment while you were talking, and I just wanted to share that. It's not just about receiving, it's about giving. It's not just about getting the support, it's about having purpose, giving that support to other people too, and being an important part of their life.
Absolutely. In fact, that's part of the reason for Service Heroes too, is because you're the one that helped with that, and I want to bring that out because when we were talking about it, and you were actually asking me a lot of questions in helping me to come up with what it was that I was going to do with Tasha Cooney's challenge, the 365 Days of Awesome. And so you really started doing that whole question thing, and we dissected, we dived deep, as some say, into the fact that some of the buddies they may be in bed and they may not have the energy to necessarily be a service hero. However, allowing others to serve them is actually being a service hero. And we were talking about that very thing and how that give and take and how both are so equally important. You know, it's the give and take. It's that balancing act. And yeah, the give and take. We had one of the buddies missing, and it was actually it was Sharon's buddy, and then we found her, and she was so glad. And because you know what, the whole idea here is when you have a community and buddies, and we use that word a lot because that's what we are. We are. It's more than friends. You know, you have friendships, and friendships there's very important, but there's something about that buddy. You know. You got a buddy, you know.
And it's somebody that understands what you're going through, right? I mean, right. I can't understand. I've never had cancer, so I can't fully understand. I can sympathize, but I can't empathize with somebody that has cancer, and to be able to say, "Okay, I understand what you're going through." I can't just sympathize, I can empathize. You know, just to hear you talk, Tamara, about your experience at Christmas and not being able to see your grandkids. I mean, wow. To somebody else that's going through that, to say, well, nobody understands. I think that's where a lot of this sorrow and depression and isolation comes in, the mental isolation, is feeling like nobody else knows what we're going through. Nobody else understands or has been there. And we may even have loving family or people around us, but whatever struggle we're going through, if we feel like they don't fully understand, there is a sense of, wow, I'm alone. It's something that I can't to relate to in a certain way. So giving people that opportunity to relate to each other, so powerful, so powerful.
Exactly, it is, and there is an energy and a love that comes from the fact that you can have a lot of support in your family, and that is wonderful. But it goes back to support, and is what support is. Support helps to hold you up, or helps to support you, or take care of you, foundational, support. But when you have someone that can understand, that has been there, and you can talk that language, and you can say, okay, I don't want to feel sorry for myself, but oh my golly, I'm having a moment, getting moment to moment, it's a hard deal right now. Are you having that? And then you start doing this, because when I had my original buddy, we called those chocolate days, and you could only call a chocolate day every once in a while, and you had to really want a chocolate day to call it. And that was, you could complain as much as you wanted that day, but you had one day to do it, and then the next day you got to get back to the whole positive thing, because you had to get it out. And oh my gosh, it would be to the point where we would be like, is that all you got? Are we done with this? Is this all we had for chocolate day? Okay, let's go on and do something fun now, talk. And this was all, of course, by type, because I didn't have a voice, because I had chemo sores on my vocal cords, so I couldn't talk. So, but, and that was fun too, because, oh my gosh, that's when I first learned Messenger, and try to have a couple different conversations with that. You're going back, what did this one say? And is that what, and you can't just call and say, wait a minute, slow down. But the thing about it is, when you have someone that can understand, it not only helps you, it helps that family member too, that's supporting you. Because sometimes that support, when you feel as though you're not being heard, or they don't understand, and then you get that frustration, unfortunately, sometimes that energy and that pain, or the confusion, or the misunderstanding, can start to create a wedge. And we're seeing that way too much in these family units that don't need to have that wedge. So part of the program is not only just for the patient, but it's also for those people that love and support them, that they can have a buddy too. Yeah. And they can say, did you ever feel this way about your person that you love and support? Because I'm sure having a rough day today.
Yeah.
But then you can get it out and be okay.
Yeah, that's such an important component too. I love that. You know, because cancer affects more than just the person who has it. And the whole family, it affects around them. So I love that you're identifying that you're seeing that, and that you're realizing that when you help the family and the people around the person that has the cancer too, that's helping them. So really great.
You think about what cancer is, you know, it says it all. What is cancer? You have one bad cell that just starts to populate more, and, you know, it's all this bad stuff, right? Well, that happens in life. It doesn't have to just be a disease. It can be whatever is happening in that world of that person. And you start allowing that kind of cancerous activity and behavior to happen in a loving family, or a family that's maybe teetering, or friendships, that can be very problematic. And so that's where the buddy program comes in to say, you know what? Let's change this all around and upside down and kick that cancerous thing to the curb and say, you know, you're out of here. You don't need to be here anymore. We got this. You know, let whatever treatment plan you decide to go with, traditional, adjunctive, alternative, whatever it is, just don't do it alone, right? And let your loved one and support one, whatever group you're in, have that buddy. But then when everybody comes together, and I understand life is life, and yeah, Shangri-La would be nice, and I understand that that's like someone's over here that believes it perfect, and I do too. And one of our guests has come on, one of my friends, and I have to say that the thing that, you know, you asked me a question earlier, Allison, and that was how I feel about everything, about, you know, life in general, in a way. And the way I feel about it now is that it's so magical in so many ways, and we don't necessarily always look at it through the children's eyes, and because we think we're adults and we've got it so figured out. And the thing I think is that it's so simple, and it's more in the way that the kids look at it, and being childlike and having that childlike wonder, yet still being real, but still being able to say, you know what, I'm happy to wake up today. I don't have a reason to not be happy. You know, we haven't, when you're a kid, you don't know that you're supposed to not be happy that it's a Monday. They're happy it's a Monday, right? They're happy it's a day. And I would like, let's say that again. I believe, and where I'm going with Chemo Buddies for Life, and why I feel so honored to be working and building this right now, is that we are building a community of buddies that believe and that are there for each other, and that they wake up happy to wake up. And that is the greatest gift that you can do, is give that gift of life. It's all about life.
I love that. And Tamara, speaking about giving gifts, I know you're much more of a giver than a receiver, and you love to focus on other people, but I want to focus on you for just a minute, because I want to celebrate you. You took something, an experience that you had in your life that was really challenging and hard, and you said, hey, here's something that helped me through this experience, and that was to have a friend, have a buddy. And instead of just saying, wow, I'm thankful for that for me, you said, I want to help other people. I want to do my experience to bless the lives of other people, and you help to co-create this program that is blessing so many people's lives. And I just want to, I want to celebrate you, and I want to say we all can do that. And that's part of the living of life. and having a purpose, saying, what have I learned and how can I help other people? And it's that one hand up and one hand down principle, right? Like we always
Right.
are going to help, and we're going to need somebody to lift and help us and support us. But there's always help that we can give. And even those people who are struggling right now, who are feeling like, what do I have to offer? What do I have to give? You can share that legacy. You can share your experiences. You can share what you've learned with the people around you. And you've done that, and you've created this. What's your tip to people who feel like they don't have anything to offer? Maybe they're going through a hard experience, or they're looking for a purpose. They feel like they have more to offer in life. How do they take an experience like you did and turn it into something that is changing lives and really matters?
That's a good question. I think like in my case, I remember the days where I would have days that I would start maybe having a pity party, and then I would realize I'm grateful I have a pillow. I'm grateful I have a bed. I'm grateful I have clean water. I'm grateful I have a roof over my head. I'm grateful I have clean pajamas to wear. Maybe I wasn't allowed out of my door because I was in isolation, but I was grateful. I was grateful for these things. And I'd sing that little song that many children sing, count your many blessings, name them one by one. So I would do that, though I didn't have a voice. But I was okay with that because I was alive. And so when you have a purpose and you have a passion and you feel you have something that you want to give, I look at it simply. It's like, okay, count your many blessings. What is it that you have the blessings for, and what is it you feel you want to share with others? And then from there, I did put my business hat on. I had been a business person before, and so I started just looking to see if others needed what was needed. And then when it was something so simple, because many times it really is, it doesn't have to be complicated. It's just putting that one foot in front of the next foot and having a plan. And so my answer would be is if you feel that you've got a purpose and a passion, it's do something about it. And there's a lot of people, like in truth, I actually joined a coalition because of the fact that they were like, there's probably other people that are like you, and would you help them? And I absolutely would. I think that each person has a different passion or a purpose, a different calling, but it all comes down to this, and that is action. It's just a matter of what is the simple action that you need to take to get to where it is that you want to go. And then I just like to keep things simple. I just don't like to complicate things more than I have to. And in truth too, it's use the tools that you can find. And in my case, I found that people were feeling isolated, and one of the things that was isolating them is exactly the tool that we're using to now take care of that, and that is social media. Social media can actually make you feel as though you're isolated, and yet we can turn that around and use it for the positive. So many times the answer is right there, and it doesn't have to be more complicated than people complicate things, I think, a lot more than they need to be. So
I love that, and I love keeping it simple. As you were talking, I had this thought. Some of the most meaningful things to me are just a simple text throughout the day saying, Alison, I'm thinking of you, or being around somebody who maybe isn't in the best circumstances, but finds something to be grateful for. And it's simple sometimes, people, sending it to support them. sending something you're grateful for. Or maybe it's just someone that says, hey, so I love that. And you are an action taker. I have the bigger picture too, and that is that when you saw need, you didn't just sit idly by and say, hey, oh well, you said I want to do something about this, and love to see the lives that you are changing through this program. And again, I want to tell you how grateful I am for you and for all that you're doing in this world.
Well, thank you for coming on. I'm just gonna ask everybody that's watching right now that we had a really fun hour, and we actually were like auctioning off the corpse over there on the floor, and that was a lot of fun, and we actually had a buyer, and that was great fun, and this is much more of a meaningful and poignant and thought-provoking type of a conversation. And I'd like to anybody that's watching this and now or in rebroadcast, and that would be, if you got something out of this, I'd love for you to see that you donate. And I want to remind everybody, and I hope you don't mind if I do this right now, Allison, but we have these beautiful little Kelly was calling them a choker. They were donated as a headband, but they're fun. And the first 100 people, someone's going to get that. And it doesn't matter what the donation is. That was a donation to Chemo Buddies to get people to want to donate. And so, when you were asking even simple things, if someone wants to do something simple right now and help in the time of season of giving, if you want to donate something, we would love to send this to you. And if it's not something that would work for you, think of someone that this would change the way that they're looking at themselves. If they're bald, or they have a wig, or their hair is thinning, or it hasn't grown back, it can be the difference of feeling maybe beautiful. And they may just absolutely need that. So, I hope you don't mind if I just mentioned that, but it was just wanted, after our delightful conversation right now, and just your heart, Allison, I just know that I'm sure you join me in this. Here you are, an absolute gorgeous inside and out woman. And I know that cancer has affected you and your family. And
well, and I'd like to, if it's okay, I'd like to leave with a story about that. But first, I want to clarify. So you go to paypal.me and then /Chemo Buddies for Life. You just enter
correct.
that in your up on your browser.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
and what will come up? You'll know it's us because you'll see like two little beings, if you will, undescribed beings that are coming out of computers, shaking hands, kind of representing that digital buddy program. And then it just has there, you can put the amount that you want to put in, and there you go. And then what we will do, because you'll have that information in there, we will get a hold of you, and we will find out where you want these sent, if you want it sent to you, or if you want it sent to be gifted to someone else in honor of donating to Chemo Buddies for Life. This is our way of giving through Giving Tuesday, through the donation of Bruce Marin and Margie Shepard.
Oh, thank you. I love that. Well, I know I'm going to go as soon as I'm done here and donate. I'll leave you with a final story of well, it's really about perception and how cancer affected my life. My brother actually got cancer when he was in his early 20s. And at the time, he was living in California. We're originally from Idaho, younger than I was. And it was a really hard ordeal. It was testicular cancer, so it wasn't something that's typically life-threatening, but it was a particularly bad case. And I remember he had partial burns, so he had to stay in California. My parents were traveling back and forth. He was just in his very early 20s, so they were helping him out. spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on treatment and driving back and forth and traveling, and luckily, survivor, and been able to move back to Idaho, start his life. Well, it was interesting because about a decade after it happened, I'll never forget, I was sitting in the kitchen with my mom and my brother, and my mom says, you know, as a parent, I still to this day ask God, like, why did you put me through that? That was the most horrible thing, to almost lose a child to cancer. And like, I still don't understand why God would do that. And I'll never forget, my brother said, Mom, you've been on this film. And she said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, what you didn't know was I was in pain and I was doing hard drugs in the place I was living in California. And he said, when I got cancer, I quit the hard drugs, and the gang, it was a blood pact. And he said the only way out was really to get some kind of, you know, potentially terminal illness. And he said, otherwise it was like, you know, if you leave, they kill you. And he said, I would be dead had I not gotten changed my mom's perspective. That she went from every day questioning God and why he put her through this to thanking God that had been a blessing in my brother's life, and it taught me a lesson on perspective, and made me think sometimes things happen being horrible at the time, but you know, there's always a bigger thing. That was my
You know what? Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that. And that is so true. There is. And sometimes we have to just look and see what it is. And in my case, I can tell you, I do believe that I'm alive to do this. So I'm grateful that you came on to share it with me, Alison. Thank you very much. And I love you, and I appreciate your help, and I appreciate you coming on and sharing like you have. And you'll have to pick out which one of those you want, and let me know. Okay.
All right, thanks. Bye.
We'll see you later. Bye-bye.